Hello and welcome to the inaugural episode of The Flick List. My name is Drew.
My name is Erin.
And we're kind of back, I suppose.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. Well, this is, I guess this requires some explanation for those of you who are new to this show. Actually, we should include us in that because we are new to this show.
We are.
Sort of.
Brand new idea.
It's a new idea, but we previously had a show called, what was it called? Oh yeah, Erin and Drew's Movie Reviews.
Yep.
And then before that, we actually had a show called Movie Sandwich, which we did. And we decided, well, we want to do something kind of different, so we changed it to The Flick List. So this is the pilot episode of The Flick List. So hopefully our bosses like it, so we get picked up for more episodes. You know, that's kind of how pilots work. But the main idea of the show is we have a topic every episode, and we have a list, obviously. I pick 5 movies, and Erin picks 5 films. Sometimes, and also, we did not share our picks for this list beforehand, so this is kind of a surprise. Yeah, and then we kind of see how the list ends up. And our first topic, I thought was appropriate anyway, because it was kind of my idea, I suppose, was to do a list on Bruce Willis films, because he recently announced that he is stepping down from acting because he has developed a condition known as aphasia, which I'm not 100% on how it works, but some is like dementia-related thing where he doesn't. He's very forgetful or something like that.
Yeah.
So we're going to do our list of our top Bruce Willis movies. And I guess Erin's going to go first with her number 5 Bruce Willis film. If you're going to do any setup for this.
I don't really have a setup for anything. I have my list of movies here, and my 5th pick is The Sixth Sense.
Okay. So number 6 is number 5?
Yes.
Sort of?
Yes.
Okay.
Numbers get weird in my list. I will apologize in advance.
I can't wait to hear the rest. But yes.
The number 5 on my list is The Sixth Sense, which is, of all of M. Night Shyamalan's movies, this one is my favorite and probably the only one I really like.
Yeah, he gets more and more off the deep end as he goes on, it seems like. Or like the films are less likable.
Yeah, he's just like, I did it really well with my first movie, which happened to be The Sixth Sense. I did it really well, and everybody was talking about it for a long time. Like, people are still talking about the twist in this movie. And then he just kept trying to do that again and again and again, and it doesn't, like, if you go to a Shyamalan movie going, well, there's going to be a twist, let's see if I can try to figure it out. But that's not really the reason you should go to a movie. You should go to a movie to enjoy it, just in general.
Use water.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a different film, but yeah.
They're getting old. It's the beach.
Getting old. Yeah, it's the beach. It's the water. It's use water.
They're in present day. That is my least favorite Shyamalan movie. If we ever do a list on my least favorite Shyamalan movies, then The Village. The Village
old
would
one?
be on there.
Or Village?
No, The Village.
The Village? Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about The Sixth Sense, where Bruce Willis plays a child psychologist who has a rocky marriage. For reasons. I mean, how long has this movie been?
Came out in the 90s.
In the 90s.
So I want to say like 99?
Yeah.
2000? 99?
Yeah.
Somewhere
It's
in there?
over 20 years old.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
I'm going to spoil it. He's been dead the whole time.
Yeah. He sees dead people. For a reason.
You can hear the guys in the background. Yes, I'm sorry if I ruined it for you.
Should I put up the spoiler alert thing?
Okay. There shall be spoilers.
Yeah.
But you don't know it until the very end of the movie, hence the twist. And just the way it finally is revealed to you, it's just like, oh, that makes so much sense.
See, I when I saw this movie, I kind of liked it, but it didn't. People act like they were so blown away by the ending, and I wasn't. Probably because I grew up on Twilight Zone episodes that have been notorious for decades about twist endings, and like, wasn't that a great ending? It was okay. It's no like Time Enough at Last or anything, but you know, that's a Twilight Zone story. Watch that and tell me that's a better ending than Sixth Sense. But it's an okay film. But it kind of got, I don't know, grating after. I mean, I didn't love it. It was maybe it was because it reminded me a little bit of The Shining. Okay. You know,
you just don't like kids in movies?
Well, no. Well, I like. Well,
you can be honest.
I'm not sure if I do or not. It depends on how relatable the kid is.
That is very true.
Like,
that is very.
I loved The Goonies, but I loved The Goonies because I was like the age of The Goonies when I saw the movie. Or now on Netflix I watch Stranger Things. I'm like, oh yeah, I was like close to their age in 1984, 85, 86. So that I love that, whether it's good or not. Some people seem to not like the later seasons, but you know, whereas like annoying kids in movies, no, I don't like them. Or maybe sometimes, I don't know. The kid in Jerry Maguire was kind of a cute kid. That probably came out around this time too.
Yeah.
Did you know the human head weighs 8 pounds? You know, that kind of. And all Tom Cruise can do is recite sports statistics back at him because he doesn't know how to make small talk with kids, you know.
I mean, same.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So, is that it, or that's pretty much it?
That's my choice.
All right.
Number 5.
So
Sixth Sense.
All right. So I guess it's time for my number 5 film, and it's also about Bruce Willis playing a psychologist. He does this a lot in films. I don't know. He's either like a messed up cop or psychologist.
Very much, yes.
And I don't know if I would exactly call this a good film, but it's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. It's called Color of Night, where he's some horrible incident happened where he had a patient jump out a window in downtown New York, and, well, you can probably figure out the rest. Yeah. And he's colorblind. I forget why that's a big deal in the movie. Probably because it has to do with the title. And then he gets a call from a friend of his that he went to college with. He says, yeah, can you come out and help me with my group? Because they're kind of, you know, they're out there. And
does it explain what kind of color blindness? Is it red, green, blue, yellow?
I don't remember.
Is it all color? It just sees everything in black and white?
I think so.
That's weird.
Yeah.
He's like a dog.
Probably. Yeah. So he goes out and there's an interest. The movie isn't so much about him. Well, it is about him, but it's worth watching because of like the ensemble cast, because the people who are in this group are really good actors. Like if you know Lance Henriksen, he's a favorite of James Cameron's. He's been in like The Terminator and Aliens, and he goes all the way back. He's so tied with James Cameron, he goes all the way back to Piranha 2: The Spawning.
Wow.
In 1981 or 2.
Wow.
Yeah. That was Cameron's first direct. That's a deep cut.
It's a deep cut.
Yeah. And the guy, oddly enough, one of his co-stars from Die Hard, I think, is in it. He plays another one of the patients. And another guy who plays, man, I forget his name, but he's been in a bunch of horror movies. But you recognize a lot of the faces in the cast, and they work well together. And then he starts seeing this girl on the side that's kind of a, what would be the right way to say it, tall drink of water, in her case a short drink of water.
Okay.
And he kind of gets messed up with him, and figures out someone in the group is trying to kill him, and then there's all these questions. He's trying to figure out who it is, and it's that's pretty much the whole movie. And it is, and not unlike The Sixth Sense, actually. It is kind of a little twist at the end, unless you're...
He's been dead the whole time?
Well, no, but...
Okay.
as to what's going on with the group, which I probably should have seen, but I didn't at the time. Whereas now it seems really obvious. Okay. But yeah, it's that's Color of Night. It is a guilty pleasure because there's a well, let me put it to you this way. I will probably never look at a remote control car the same way again. Have you seen this film?
No, I have not seen this film.
Well, if you do...
So I will have to add it to my list.
If you do, you will know what I'm talking about. I don't know if it's streaming currently.
Okay.
But I'm sure it is. But
I could probably find it somewhere.
You can probably find it on some service or...
One of them has to be played.
I don't know. And yeah, this college buddy is played by Scott Bakula of... Quantum Leap and Star Trek Enterprise fame. So, or if you're into NCIS, I guess he's on that too. But then, then again, everybody's been on NCIS. So
it seems like it.
But yeah,
what are the acronyms? NCIS, CSI.
Yeah, it's the acronym shows.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Am I missing anything else? No, I don't think so. But yeah, worth a watch. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's worth a watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we're on to our number 4 selections.
Number 4. My number 4 Bruce Willis movie is Death Becomes Her.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Mainly because he is pretty close to unrecognizable in this movie.
Does he play like a ghost in this?
No, he plays the husband.
Okay.
He plays the husband, and also he's a plastic surgeon. So they, the two main leads, both want him to. How best to explain this movie? It is about a cult of sorts that gets rich and famous people to join them, but then they also become immortal, but they don't become invulnerable.
Kind of like the cast of Smallville.
Yes.
Long story.
Okay.
Some girl in the cast was involved with some cult thing or something.
Yeah. No, I got that.
Okay.
Anyway, the two leads both are with Bruce Willis at some point in time because he's a plastic surgeon and they are actresses. And they both try to get him to join the cult to become immortal so that they can use his services long into the eons.
Now, who else is in this movie?
It's Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep.
Yeah, I thought Meryl Streep was in it too, yeah.
The leader of the cult is Isabella Rossellini. I did say that right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And for some reason, I'm like, did I put too many syllables in her last name? I'm sorry. Yes. And it's just nothing but slapstick comedy. At one point in time, Goldie Hawn gets a shotgun through the chest.
Oh, dear.
So she spends the remainder of the movie with a giant hole in her chest. Because they don't die. They are immortal, but they are not invulnerable.
Okay.
Yeah. Meryl Streep gets her head turned around.
But so the body doesn't grow back?
No. Nope.
But they're immortal?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
It's very funny. It's a dark it's a very dark comedy.
It sounds like it.
But it is very funny.
Holes in your logic.
They really are just trying to get him to join the cult. And he doesn't want to.
Yeah, well, they're suspicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to an event in downtown St. Paul one time, and the theater I went to just happened to be kitty corner across the street from the Minnesota chapter of Scientology.
Okay.
And there is a huge placard outside asking people to come in if they wanted to take a free test. And I took a picture of it with my phone, and I said, do you think I should go in? And I ultimately did not. But,
no, thank you. My thetans are okay.
I think it would have given me an interesting story.
If anything, yeah.
But Yeah, I just ultimately decided to decline. But, otherwise it would have turned into a non-animated South Park episode. But not that anyone would come and worship me or anything like that. But, okay.
No, I'm the one to be worshipped today. It is to Church of Me.
Yeah. Send the mail to her. Yeah. Anything else?
I'm not sure if it's on any streaming services, again.
Yeah.
But if you haven't seen this movie, watch it at least once. It's funny.
Yeah.
And Bruce Willis doesn't look like himself.
Okay. So it's a non-traditional role for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Though he does play a doctor. So, of the two things, he's either doctor-esque or a cop.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Well, my number 4 film, also, I wouldn't necessarily say is a great movie. Yeah, I don't know why I'm picking bad Bruce Willis movies here. we should clarify that this show doesn't necessarily mean we're picking the best things. It's just stuff we like.
Just our favorites.
Mm-hmm. And my number 4 film, is definitely kind of another guilty pleasure. Actually, I watched it again last night because I hadn't seen it in a while. It's probably the most successful film of this particular director, well, in my opinion, because I don't like a lot of his other movies, but it's called The Fifth Element. Or as the code name, Blade Runner in the Daytime.
That's good.
Because
that's pretty good.
Well, if you look at the way the effects are in the movie, it's like, hey, this is like Blade Runner, except the sun's out, and it's not raining all the time. But, yeah, I'm not even sure. After watching it again last night, I'm still not sure what this movie's about. I don't.
It's about Corbin Dallas.
Yeah. Oh, Corbin.
Corbin.
Hey, Corbin.
Corbin.
Well, I'll get to that. But he's like a cab driver. Mm-hmm. When we say cab, we mean like a flying.
He's a cab driver. He's former military.
Yeah. Isn't he like a decorated hero?
Yeah.
Of some sort?
I think he was decorated and then forcibly discharged.
Yeah, something like that.
But whatever that is, that's not important right now.
Yeah, because these archaeologists find this piece of something.
They find a sarcophagus of some sort, and they're like, we can rebuild this.
Yeah.
That seems like a good idea.
Using DNA sequencing, they kind of regenerate a person in the form of Mila Jovovich, who is she really known for anything other than this? Resident Evil?
Yeah, the Resident Evil movies and being married to the director dude who does the Resident Evil movies.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I want to say she was in Dazed and Confused.
Yes.
Also. But yeah, she's like this, I guess, the fifth element. Yes?
Yes.
Sort of?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know if she has an actual title. She's like the guardian of the fifth element.
Yeah, well, she gets chased around by a priest and his lackey because they think she's the next big thing. And Bruce Willis kind of becomes the, I don't know, bodyguard.
Yeah.
Sort of, kind of.
Well, she falls into his cab. She literally falls into his lap.
Yeah.
Into his cab, and then she doesn't know anything, but she's like kind of gleaning off of everything, and gets a help me message out, and he's just like, oh, fine, and just kind of roped into this situation.
Yeah. And then they end up on the cruise ship, which I think is the best part of the movie.
Yeah, it is.
Because then we get Chris Tucker with that
Being
giant bullhorn
just the most
thing coming out of his head. I don't know where you get that from or where that. Did you steal that from like a Muppet or something? Literally, I mean, you could like
Gonzo.
Yeah,
put it on his head.
Yeah, it's like a Gonzo hair piece that coming out of the top of his head. And he's like, "Oh, Kobe! What am I supposed to do with the gun, Kobe? Oh no!" It's like, I think this was like his first big film, wasn't it? This was before Rush Hour or any of that other stuff, wasn't it?
This was his first break into something other than the Friday movies.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forget he was in that.
Yeah.
He hasn't really done anything since.
No.
Kind of. People got tired of him, I guess, real quick.
I guess the voice is grating to some people.
Yeah, it's it's like Yahoo Serious, No, people got tired of him real quick too.
Oh man.
Well, people outside of Australia did anyway, but yeah, and then there's like a alien opera singer who gets shot, and then like some terrible aliens that were thrown out in the dumpster of like Industrial Light and Magic. And
Gary Oldman.
And Gary Oldman, who has like the most stereotyped villain name ever, Zorg. Wasn't that like the villain in like Buzz Lightyear or something? Zorg.
Yeah, that is the Zorg.
Or Zurg.
The Zurg. That's it.
Yeah.
It's the Zurg.
Yeah, and he plays.
We'll find more when that movie comes out.
He's great with accents, Gary Oldman, because he sounds like a Southern fried villain who's like, I talk like this, when he's like super British,
He's got the weirdest hair.
Yeah,
and plastic
and like a plastic headpiece on. It just looks. It's like, where did this guy come from?
Nobody knows.
No.
So good.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that is my my number 4 selection. Is The Fifth Element.
Okay.
If you've never seen it, it's
check
worth
it out.
A watch.
It's pretty good.
Sure. Yeah. All right, we're on to the 3s.
Well, my third pick is The Fifth Element.
Oh, interesting. Hey, we got our first repeat.
Woo!
Or our first duplicate, I should say.
Duplicate.
Our first duplicate pick. Okay, there you go.
So, whatever we all just said and more. It's really good. It is not one that you would just go out, but like it's a great movie, just in general. And I don't know if it. You said it was probably Denis Villeneuve's best movie?
Luc Besson.
Luc Besson? I had the wrong director. I am sorry.
Yeah. I would hope Denis Villeneuve, he's done better movies than this.
Like, he did Dune. I thought, what are we talking about? I was mistaken.
Yeah.
My bad.
He did Dune and Arrival and the new Blade Runner movie. And I think he's doing a sequel to Dune.
Yes. Yeah. Probably a few.
Could be, yeah. I see they just hired Christopher Walken to be the Emperor of the Universe. That alone is worth the price of admission right there.
Really?
Yep.
That's pretty
I'm
good.
in charge of the universe.
That is pretty good.
Represent. Yeah.
Okay, then go back. This was Luc Besson. He did
The Professional.
Yeah. The Leon and all that.
Which brought Natalie Portman to the world.
A switch for him.
Yeah.
Okay, I got very confused in my movies. I apologize, viewers. It happens. It does. Yep. Watch The Fifth Element. It's good.
It is good. Okay.
What's your third pick? And we can't talk about it for.
Well, that's true. My third pick. It's unconventional as far as Bruce Willis goes because it's actually kind of a good movie. And it's where he plays an aging policeman, and not like a. I don't know. He's kind of like the Swiss Army knife in a lot of his movies, where he can do pretty much anything. Whereas this, he's kind of has more faults and characters a little more drawn out. I think it's a cop story called 16 Blocks. Yeah, he plays this cop who's like on the later end of his career. He walks with a limp. He has a mustache. He doesn't look like a movie star. Let's put it that way. He looks like a very seasoned veteran police officer. And it's his job. He has been working on something like all night, and then he finds out that someone didn't show up to make this delivery. So it's his job to take someone from jail down to the courthouse for a hearing he's supposed to appear at, where you don't really know what for, but then you figure out that someone tries to eliminate this particular individual, who's played by the hip-hop artist known as Mos Def, who appeared in another movie called Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but his real name is like Yassine something. I forget now. Yassine Bey, I think his name is. But
I honestly don't remember. Oh my goodness.
Someone tries to like peg him off, and then Bruce Willis calls some back up, and he's like, "Hey." Then he figures out, someone tried to off him because he's a witness in this case against some police officers where they killed somebody when they weren't supposed to, kind of like almost like a George Floyd kind of thing, except it wasn't caught on camera or whatever. Okay. So they're not real happy about that, so they're trying to like set him up to like get him off so it won't look like it was an inside job.
Right.
And then Bruce Willis kind of smarts his way out of some certain situations, and that's where the title 16 Blocks comes in. And yeah, and there's the twists just keep on coming, because there's also a twist in this at the end of the movie. I don't know when he got started in Twilight Zone episodes, but yeah, there's just twists galore in all of his
sometime
movies.
In the 90s.
Yeah, sometime in the 90s. And then as they're kind of moving from place to place, and they kind of get to know each other a little better, and there's a situation on a bus that ends in a standoff that they manage to get out of somehow. So, yeah, that's 16 Blocks. Have you ever seen it?
I have not.
No, and this was...
Well, I do like most stuff, so...
Yeah.
I should watch this
And
one.
this was the last movie directed by Richard Donner. Of course, is famous for Superman and The Omen and The Goonies and the Lethal Weapon series and all kinds of television. And he just died, I don't know, last year sometime. He was like 90 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he had a heck of a career. So
yeah,
this was 2006 was his last movie director job. So, and I thought there was something else I wanted to say about it too, but I can't remember what it was. I don't know. Well, anyway, yeah, that's 16 Blocks. It's called.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So your number 3.
My number 3 was Fifth Element.
Oh,
number
I'm sorry.
2.
Oh, we're down to number 2
We're
already.
Up to 2
Holy
already.
cow.
Yeah.
Okay.
My number 2 movie is Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Okay. The third one.
Yes.
Okay.
Much like the Alien series, I like the third one the best. I know we've talked.
Yeah,
about this before.
we've talked about that before.
It's because it's the first one that I watched.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
Sure.
I get it. Sure, he says. But Die Hard with a Vengeance is the first Die Hard movie I ever saw. So.
Wow, you got a thing for 3s.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with 3. Didn't know it was 3 at the time. It was just Die Hard with a Vengeance. It had cops. They were in New York.
Yeah, and the titles the movies only got crazier after that.
Yeah.
Live Free or Die Hard. A Good Day to Die Hard. I feel like I'm missing one in there somewhere, but did they only make 5?
Officially?
I thought they made more than that.
I think they only made 5.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess
maybe they were working on a 6th and couldn't figure out a title.
Probably. Kind of like Sharknado 3, Oh Hell No, or whatever, yeah. But anyway, yeah, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah, Die Hard with a Vengeance. John McClane is back, but this time he's in New York.
Oh, yes. His home turf.
His home turf. And there's a terrorist blowing up stuff. And also, he's just toying with them. Like, this whole movie is this whole game of cat and mouse type thing going on, where the bad guy named Simon is running John McClane, who he specifically asked for to do a game of Simon Says.
Simon Says, yep.
With phone calls to telephone booths, which no longer exist in New York. They just,
as of
like yesterday,
I think they got rid of the last phone booth in New York City.
Which is just weird.
It is
it's
weird.
Like that's what you think of in New York. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
where's Superman going to change? Oh wait, they have revolving doors. That's right.
Yes. Let's go through one of those real quick.
Yeah, because he looked at the phone booth and said, nah, and then he went in the revolving door instead. Yeah. Which actually looked a lot cooler. Thing.
Or you could just be Wonder Woman and just twirl by yourself.
Yeah, Die Hard with a Vengeance. Yeah.
Like, she doesn't need one. Haha. He gets pairs himself up with a cabbie. Randomly, sort of. They get
paired up in a very interesting fashion.
Yeah.
Much like if you see Color of Night and you think of remote control vehicles. All these guys get paired up is... see, I don't know how... I don't remember how... They showed this on TV. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to remember how they set that up. Because there's some language there.
Yeah, there's language. I think that they use...
Did they use an alternate take?
Clever use of blocking and lens flares.
Okay. Well, so J.J. Abrams helped with the movie.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Simon asks him to go down to Harlem with a certain sandwich board. Mm-hmm. And he gets saved from this, from being killed, basically, by what the sandwich board says, by Samuel L. Jackson. Mm-hmm. Who is playing a character named Zeus, and that is the best thing.
Yeah. That actually, the pairing actually works very well.
Very good.
Yeah, it's almost buddy cop, but he's not a cop.
Right.
Yeah. And Jeremy Irons plays the bad guy, too.
Oh, so good.
He is so good. Yeah.
He's really good at that. He's just really good at being a bad guy. What can you say? They are trying to steal all the gold in Fort Knox, except not that Fort Knox, where the actual gold is actually at in New York. Obviously. Mm-hmm. And they almost get away with it, too.
It wasn't for those meddling McLeans. Yes. Yeah. That's a good one. I forgot about that one. Yeah. Okay. Is it my number 2 now?
Yes.
Okay. My number 2 selection happened earlier in his career. He kind of became big with Die Hard and all that kind of stuff. Well, he kind of had like I said, he got typecast as policemen or psychiatrists or something like that. But this was a cop one, and it's from 1991. And it's called The Last Boy Scout. Where he's buddied up with Damon Wayans, which, he was famous for being on what was it called? In Living Color or Living Single or something?
In Living Color.
In Living Color, yeah, that's what it was. Because his brothers were all in that show, right? Keenan Ivory Wayans and Marlon, and then there was Damon Wayans. And then he was in this, and he's like, he never didn't really do much after that, did he? I don't think. Because he's pretty good in this movie. Because it's almost like the Lethal Weapon setup.
Yeah.
Where you have a black partner and a white partner. And it's like this was poised like it could have been like a franchise, but never did. It never took off, which is weird. It was set up, if you look at the end of the movie, it's set up to kind of be that way, but it never took off. I don't know why. This is a funny movie, but it's like I'm surprised it didn't have any sequels.
I think from there, the Wayans started doing the scary movies.
Oh, yeah.
And other things that are like lesser comedy underneath that. And
which got progressively worse.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the first one was pretty good, but then they kind of sequentially got worse and worse and worse as they went on. And then the guys from The Naked Gun took over, the Zucker brothers, and it's mixed results.
Yeah.
But you can't really duplicate Airplane. It's pretty tough to do.
Yeah.
But, so...
They've tried.
Yeah, they have tried. So Bruce Willis is this detective who's got, I don't know, a drinking problem. Well, does he ever not have a drinking problem?
You know that...
In movies?
So. Yeah.
Yeah, because Die Hard, drinking problem. Last Boy Scout, drinking problem. Did he have a drinking problem in Death Becomes Her?
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
16 Blocks, drinking problem. I don't think did he in The Fifth Element? I don't know if he did or not.
He might have, but I don't know if it was really addressed.
Right. But anyway, yeah, he's...
That might have been why his wife left him.
Yeah, his wife was... not real happy with him, and his kid's not real happy with him, and his friend's not really happy with him, to the point where he tries to give him a case to solve because he doesn't want to do it. And which turns out it was a diversionary tactic because, well, the guy was a coward anyway, but he was also kind of doing some things with his wife behind his back. And he found out that he has some information on a senator that was like being set up to like legalize gambling, and then he turned this millionaire down who happens to own like an expensive football team, or the LA Stallions, and that's where Damon Wayans comes in because he used to be the quarterback for that team, and he got kicked off the team because he got busted for drugs or something. And so hilarity ensues, where, you know, they're sitting in like the police station after something gets blown up, and he's wearing leather pants. He says, "Are those leather pants?" "Yeah." "How much?" $6.50. $6.50? No, $650. $650 for a pair of pants. "Yep." "They don't have a TV in them or nothing?" "No, they don't." Wow. But yeah, this exchange is like, "Danger is my middle name. My name is Cornelius. If you tell anyone, I will kill you."
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got this thing came across my social media, I think, last week or the week before last, about some actor who died. And I didn't recognize the name, but they were clicked on it, and they were going through some of the stuff he was in, because he was a character actor who was in a lot of stuff. And the last one they mentioned was he was also known for being in the film The Last Boy Scout as the inventor of Scrabble. So, yeah. And then the whole movie kind of ends with this climax of where they're at a football game, and he's riding a horse, and he throws a football to like deflect a bullet and all this other stuff. And then at the end of the movie, of course, he's like, "Hey, I could use a partner." And then, like, where's the sequel?
Where's the sequel?
Yeah, it's like the franchise that really wasn't or never happened, The Last Boy Scout. So yeah, so
you can't put last in your name and expect a sequel.
Well,
though you can put final in your name.
If they can bring Emperor Palpatine back to life in the Star Wars movies, surely they can work their way around this title.
I mean,
yeah. But anyway,
needs a reboot and then a sequel. How
of course, yeah. Why not?
Hollywood, we got some ideas for you.
Yeah. Oh, and his boss in the movie is played an actor named Joe Santos, who's interesting because he's cursing up a blue streak when he's in the getting reamed out by the boss or whatever. And he used to be the boss of Jim Rockford on the Rockford Files TV show. So,
nice.
A little useless trivia for you there. But anyway, yeah, that's The Last Boy Scout is my number 2 selection.
All right.
Okay, that means we are down to
number 1, unless you have any like honorable mentions.
We'll do those afterwards.
Okay.
Because there will be, I could only pick 5, but yeah, right. we'll talk about those more.
Got some honorable mentions on here. Yeah. Okay, number 1. My number 1 pick is Hudson Hawk. Good, that's the reaction I want.
Well, you just made our director very happy because he's a big Hudson Hawk fan, aren't you, Rick? Yeah, I was wondering if this was going to come up or not. But,
I don't know.
Yeah.
You said Bruce Willis. This is the first movie that was on my list. So I was just like, Hudson Hawk. I'm going to talk about it.
All right, please do.
What to talk about, man? Bruce Willis in this one is a thief, a rogue of sorts, who's got this. Now,
when you say rogue, is like with or without a badge?
Without.
Okay.
He's a petty criminal. He's a thief. And he's got this tick where he times everything with song. So, like, he'll say, I need this much time. 2 minutes, 43 seconds, that's insert song. And then he'll go through the whole thing, timing himself by singing the song. It's great.
So it's kind of like Baby Driver.
Sure.
Because he commits all like his driving based to music.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes. Only instead of using the actual songs, he sings the songs. So he's got it all timed out in his head. And if you ever need to know the words to the Bringing Moonbeams Home in a Jar song, watch the end of this movie, because it's the big heist.
Moonbeams in a jar?
Yeah, you know.
I don't know if I've ever heard that one.
Never shoot on a star.
Is it an old song?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he uses mainly older songs, like jazz era, 20s, 30s, 40s songs.
Okay.
As his timers. And let's see, what else can I tell you about this movie? I know that David Caruso is in it as a silent bad guy who, his name is Kit Kat, I believe.
Kit Kat, like the candy bar?
You like the candy bar. I think all of the different henchmen are named after candy. He's Kit Kat. And he speaks by using little tiny pieces of paper. So, like, he'll hand you a piece of paper of what he wants to say. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. As opposed to, like, the Louvres in Wisconsin?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
But it's fun, and it's not a movie you would expect from Bruce Willis. This is his early career.
Okay.
And I love it. It's my favorite Bruce Willis movie.
Wow. Okay. All right. So
it is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. So
what's your favorite Bruce Willis movie?
I had to go with Die Hard as my number one. It's what put him on the map. Well, as far as being a movie star, put him on the map. He had previously, of course, been in television with Sybil Shepherd in a show called Moonlighting, and he basically got this movie because Arnold Schwarzenegger, they couldn't get him to do it. Why? I don't know. Or Stallone didn't want to do it. This guy, who wants, and at the time you'd be like, why him? But at least then you gave him kind of an everyman feel to the part, because I don't think it would have been as believable if not like that's a huge factor with these kind of movies, because they're not believable anyway. But the character of John McClane became more of an everyman.
Right.
Whereas, like, the farther you go into this series, I think he becomes less everyman and more
expendable.
No, he's becomes more super cop like.
Yep, but like in the Expendables.
Oh yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, very much like that. Yeah. Whereas in here he's kind of a fresh face and doesn't really know what's going on and that kind of thing. And even though he's playing a police officer in the movie, who is way outside of his jurisdiction. Yeah, in case you haven't seen the movie and you've been living under a rock for the last 30 years.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it came out in 1988. So that would be, 20, 30, 34 years? 35 years? 34 years old as of this recording. So, yeah. He's a policeman who is on his way from New York to California to visit his wife and kids for Christmas. There is an office Christmas party at her workplace, which happens to be this huge building called Nakatomi Plaza. I forget, and of course terrorists show up, but I forget why they're there. They have some plutonium they need for a bomb or something. That
sounds right.
I forget, but they're interested in something in the building. So they take it over, and for the first hour or so, nobody knows that they're there. Nobody outside the building knows that they're there. Then finally he manages to Bruce Willis gets a message to the police. Cop goes by. Of course, he can't get there too fast because he has to stop for Twinkies. And then he thinks it's a crank call until all of a sudden a literal body comes flying out the window onto the hood of his car.
Yes.
Welcome to the party, pal. And then the police show up, and then the National Guard shows up, then the Army shows up, and and Alan Rickman is the Hans Gruber as the lead terrorist, who, in case you missed it earlier, is actually the older brother of the Jeremy Irons character in Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yep. Which is why he specifically
Which
asked
is
for
why he
John
was
McClane.
singled out in the beginning in the movie to play Simon Says. So, trying to think some other notables in this movie. Oh, Bill Atherton plays the news reporter who reveals a bunch of information on Mr. McClane's family over the television, which leads Gruber to figure out that it's his wife, and then he figures out, oh, I can mess with him by taking his wife and his kids and all this other stuff. And Bill Atherton was also in Ghostbusters. He was that snooty EPA agent who tried to shut the Ghostbusters down. He's good at playing like just these just not nice guys in movies. Yeah, he's got that market cornered down. So, yeah, lots of yippee-ki-yays to be had for sure. But that's pretty much Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still great today.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic.
And definitely a Christmas movie. Definitely a Christmas movie.
How did I know that was going to come up? Christmas movies.
So.
Well, it takes place
during Christmas.
It takes place during Christmas, and it ends
Therefore, Christmas
on
movie.
"Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow." So
There's
kind
Christmas
of tough
trees,
to
there's decorations. They
argue
talk
with
about
that.
it. It's a Christmas party.
Yeah,
It's a Christmas movie.
And Carl from Family Matters shows up as a policeman.
As a policeman.
I think this was before Family Matters though started.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Why couldn't they have just shot Urkel? It would have been a lot more fun. But,
Then you wouldn't have gotten his
hey,
other
Carl.
character. The other character.
It's like the more annoying Sheldon Cooper.
That's hard to do, but yeah.
But yeah, that's Die Hard.
Yeah.
Oh, I also forgot the principal. Since we're talking about people and other things, the principal from the Breakfast Club shows up.
Oh yeah.
As Carl's. Well, he's not Carl. What's his name? Al something.
Yeah.
Yeah. As his boss, and like, how about the body that got thrown out the window? Maybe some stockbroker got depressed. You know.
Oof.
But yeah, that's Die Hard. So there's our list.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yay.
Now it's honorable mention time.
Honorable mentions.
The ones we didn't get that didn't quite make the cut. I had some. One of them was just a couple, which were
The Whole 9 Yards.
oh yeah, Hitman.
Yeah. He's a hitman.
Jimmy the Tulip. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jimmy the Tulip. That was with Matthew Perry and the big guy talks like this. Michael Clark Duncan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Okay.
Still a good movie.
Yeah.
Weird to have him in a romantic comedy. But yes. Still good.
And what was the other one?
And that one, and I have to mention Armageddon.
Yeah, that's
Because
right.
I have to.
Hey, I put movies in my list I didn't necessarily think were great, but I liked them. So
It's just like, it's a movie.
it's a movie. I ate a lot of popcorn. Yeah.
Oh, I had another one and it's gone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
How about Unbreakable?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Talk about the M.
Another
Night
Sam
Shyamalan
Jackson
one.
movie with
M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan. That one, that one was pretty.
You gotta include the whole series.
Yeah,
It's a
and then
trilogy.
like Split,
Yes.
because that's
There's
in
Unbreakable and Split and Glass.
there. Glass. That's the other one. Yeah. I know I had some other. Oh, Looper.
Right.
You seen
Looper?
Looper
Yeah.
was pretty good. Although I didn't
Brad's
know if I
pretty good.
quite bought Joseph Gordon-Levitt as a younger Bruce Willis, though.
If you have to change someone's eye colors,
Well, they did a lot to make him look more like Bruce Willis, didn't they? Yeah, because if you just take him as is, it's like, that's not Bruce Willis at all. So I didn't. That was the weak part of that movie for me, but it's a cool idea for a film, Looper. Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
Although I didn't. It's hard for me to think of that as a Bruce Willis film because he's really only like it's like a 3-story movie, and he's only really in like 1/3 of the movie.
I had to exclude anything where he wasn't present in the movie. He is a main character in Look Who's Talking.
Oh, yeah.
But he's the voice of a baby, so I didn't count that.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would have been higher on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I'm missing something, but well, can we talk about
Sin City?
Oh yeah, Sin City is good. Can we talk about some dishonorable mentions?
Sure.
Everything he's made in the past few years. Well,
I was going through the credits on IMDb.
Yeah.
And it's like as soon as you went past Red 2, it was the same movie.
Yeah, with different titles. Yeah. Well, he has. Well, this is kind of like, and this is, keep in mind, this was before anyone really knew he had a problem, which may explain a lot what happens with a lot of these movies, because if you go, there's a Redbox across the street from where we record this show, and if you go over there, you'll probably find at least 2 or 3 of these films at the Redbox. But he has some deal, or he did, where he just churns out these straight-to-video things, and like he's really, in the business they call that slumming, because it's an easy paycheck and he doesn't have to do much. In fact, he's not even really in much of these movies at all. He's like CGI'd into a lot of shots, and a lot of the actors in the movies with him aren't even really acting with him because they're not in the same shot. They'll have a stand-in and they'll like post that together in post-production. And if you look at a lot of the shots, he has this earpiece in his ear, and to feed him lines, well, you just kind of figured, well, it was because he was being lazy or not reading the script, but apparently that was there hasn't been a lot of talk about it, but supposedly because of this aphasia issue, that's probably why they were doing that. But someone was making a lot of money off of this, of him, and being in these kind of sort of direct-to-video, terrible kind of films. But yeah, because it stuck out to me.
Make him an FBI agent. They're supposed to wear earpieces. That's all you need.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, that's happened in some movies where they just make that part of the movie because they have to have, was it Marlon Brando had this cat that he really liked, and he kept showing up with the cat, so they just wrote the cat into the movie. That I think that was The Godfather, because that cat wasn't supposed to be there. Isn't that how that worked? I think that's what it was.
Well, I know that the cat in The Godfather was a stray.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because it wasn't originally supposed to be part of that scene. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that is, there's your flick list on Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
So, and it's too bad he's stepping away, and but he's got, if he's going to walk away, he's got a lot to be proud of in his career. So, there you go. There's our list. If you agree, disagree, you could probably let us know at the appropriate social media through our station here, WTCO. Through Facebook and Twitter. So, yeah. Any parting thoughts? Yippee-ki-yay?
Yes, and all that jazz.
And then some. We'll see you next time on the Flick List. And don't join cults.
Don't join cults.
Yes, take care. We'll see you later.
Bye.